name is Anna, and today I'm absolutely honored to have a lesson with you, right? So this is actually the extract from a 2-hour lesson. It was a bilingual lesson. So I was joined by my colleague, teacher of literature, Russian literature. That is why some parts will be missed, right? Because it is absolutely irrelevant today. And also I would like to address to you, okay, if you feel that you know what to say, but you don't know how to say, feel free to switch to Russian, okay? Because as I said, it was originally bilingual lesson, using both languages, okay, but 2 different teachers. At the same time, if you feel that you don't know, feel free to ask for any assistance, okay? Also one question, have you read the story? Both English and Russian. Thank you very much, okay. So, are we recording already? Good. So, I don't know why it doesn't work the way I wish it to work, but anyway. Let's start with this video episode, right? Watch it. Ladies and gentlemen, we watched this episode, right? And my first question is, what kind of emotions are you experiencing now at this moment? After watching this episode, please feel free to express any emotion. Pardon? Some melancholy, okay, yes. Right? Why? Sadness.
Because a lot of people died during this war.
Very good, thank you. Right, these are your emotions, yes. Okay? Anybody else, please? Do you feel sorry for them? Yes, we do feel sorry, right? Okay. What else?
Proud.
So at the same time we're proud.
Yes. Very
good. Although we don't have like close relationship to these people, right? We are not relative to them very closely. Anyway, we feel there is something which makes us feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
Right, absolutely. And can you just answer my question? How often do you feel okay to share your sad emotions? So when you're happy, it's like, right, shouting, screaming, jumping, smiling, hugging everybody. What about other feelings, the opposite feelings? Is it always easy
No, we try to hide it.
It's not easy, right? So it takes time, it takes some effort to express, right? Absolutely. And my next question is, do you think it's important to be able to speak about your emotions? It is important, right? Okay. Today we are speaking about, as you have understood, our emotional intelligence. What have you heard about emotional intelligence? I don't know your names, I can't address directly, okay? That's why I'm using my open gesture, just please. Is it relevant to you, your emotional intelligence? What do you know about that?
Emotional intelligence is
Can I say it's our ability to react? Yes, right? If you're happy, you show your happiness. If you're sad, you show that you are sad. Right, absolutely. So that's the idea, to show. And is it important to see in other people their emotions? Is it important? Why is it important? To react appropriately, right? To react. Thank you. And when we say about the author of this writer, I think he was actually the founder of this trend in literature. And the choice is that. So we watched an episode, right? And you shared your emotions. Now I would suggest looking at the map, okay? Let's read this map. What kind of information do we get from this map? What can we see? Yes, so this is the map of which part of the world? Europe, okay. Which year? 1914, 1918. So history. So what was the period? It was the World War the First, right? So which countries were involved? Why were they involved in that war? Okay, this is the knowledge of lessons of history. So there was a case of heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, right? And the war started. And of course the countries are given here. So because allied countries and some central power countries, right? That was quite a severe war. And if we look back, if we look at the numbers of people who died, can you imagine there were over 9 million people who died? 9 million people. And if we compare the area, the territory of Europe, do you think it's a huge number?
Yes.
It is a huge number. So can you realize how many families were affected by this war? Right? 9 million deaths. And of course, that period was severely affecting a lot of young people. And in this picture, you can see a group of writers. Have you ever heard anything about the lost generation writers?
yes.
What do you know about this? Maybe you can call out some names. So obviously, one name you've already seen. That was Ernest Hemingway, right? Then Francis Scott Fitzgerald, Great Gatsby. Okay, you've read, you've seen the film. Okay, Thomas Eliot. And of course, this term, the lost generation, was coined by Gertrude Stein, because when she was writing her story, she mentioned one Spanish guy who worked in the garage, right? And he was talking to one of his employees saying, "You are the lost generation." Why do you think people were called the lost generation? So if we are related to those years, what can you say?
They can't live their lives as they wanted because it was a worldwide war, it was political games, and they can't do what they wanted to do and happily fly, enjoy their day.
Okay.
Something like this.
Yes, there is a point what you're saying, but the idea also is that who are those people? People who were born or lived within the years of the war, right? And why were they lost? Because did they know how to look into the future?
That's why.
Yes, so they didn't see any light at the end of the tunnel, as we can see, right? 26, Ernest Hemingway, right, wrote his story, which is in front of you, which we're going to speak about, and of course it was part of his ideas, or part of his thoughts illustrated in his book. And if we speak about, yes, Gertrude. So what do we know about Ernest Hemingway? What do you know? He was a journalist, absolutely.
He wrote very short history in the world.
Okay, so in his, all through his novels, all through his books, we can trace back to the history of the world, which was, So, and what do you know about his participation in the Red Cross organization? Do you know anything? Okay, so of course, originally he was American, right? He was American. But during the years of the war, he moved to France. He worked for the Red Cross to help people during the years of war, right? And of course, as you can, I realize actually now, he was affected by the war himself. And the thing that he wrote, of course, it was that he heard from someone, he saw with his own eyes, right? And also, yes, he belonged to that, as well, the lost generation. And what do you know about the technique called croissants? Do you know anything about the technique called croissants? Never heard it? Okay, can you see this square? How many squares are there? 9 squares, right? So we have symbols for each square, and I want you to trace back the plot of the story using the croissants. What's the plot of the story? Sujet. Okay? We are going to check how well you remember the plot of the story in Cat in the Rain. Okay? So the first picture. Okay. So what ideas, what can you say about it? So what does it illustrate? What does this picture tell us about the plot of the story?
The story takes place in France or Italy?
In Italy, absolutely. So can we see that the Italian resort? Yes, the Mediterranean Sea, right? So in Italy. So what can you say about the surroundings, about the scenery, about the views?
Everything was bright,
Yes, relaxing, nice, calming, peaceful, right? Absolutely. Thank you. And if I ask you to illustrate the second one, so what's this? A cat. How is it related? So at the beginning of the story, we are taken into the Italian town, Italian resort, right? Then so you have the story. So we meet the cat. Cat. What kind of cat? Where is that?
under the table.
Yes, it is outside, yes. And the main character, the wife, sees it through the window, right? Okay. The cat is one of the characters. Continue. Then we can see, so it was raining hard, and so who's that person? Okay, the main character, right? So that's the lady, so the main character of the story. Okay, and she was walking in the rain, holding an umbrella. Right, continue. Then she comes back. And where does she find herself? By the window, okay? I hope you remember the story, okay? The actions, okay, by the window. And then, at the end, so she's holding a cat. Yes, she has the cat. So as I said, the idea of croissants is that you show how the key aspects are related. And in the center you have the main idea of the story, right? So, okay, as I said, so we now know, we have tried to recall the main plot of the story. Continue. So as you see, the main character is the cat. This is the extract, okay? Extract from the story. Can I ask someone to read out, please? So yes, you can just come closer and read out, please.
Outside, right under the window, a cat was crouched under one of the dripping blue tables. So the cat was trying to make herself so compact that she would not be jigged on.
Okay, so that's the first episode when we come across the cat. So what kind of information did we get? Что мы с вами узнали о кошке вот из этого абзаца, из этих строчек? So we can see the word a cat, right? A cat.
Yes.
Grammatically, what does mean a cat?
It's like a person.
Is it like a special cat or any cat?
Special.
Any cat, absolutely. Any cat, right? We see it for the first time. Any cat. Then it says, the cat.
Especially.
We already know which cat. Okay, it says, the cat was trying to make herself so comfortable that she would not be treated. Also, look at the word she. What does it tell you grammatically? Yes, it is personalized. Absolutely right. It's personalized. So already, so from any cat, we pass to the cat, and then it's already she. So in one actually paragraph, the writer brings the closer to our understanding, right? So that's the text. Thank you. Continue. Right. Then it says, let's read out. Can I ask you please to read out?
I wanted the
No. I'm going down.
I'm going down and get that kitty. I wanted a kitty. I wanted that poor kitty. It isn't any fun to be a poor kitty out in the rain. I want to have a kitty to sit on my lap and purr when I stroke.
Okay. That's the middle of the story. So gradually the cat turns into a kitty. So and she says, I am going down. I wanted a kitty. I wanted a poor kitty. I want to have a kitty. What do you think? Why the cat turns into a kitty? What does it tell us about the main character?
Childish behavior.
Right, very good. You think it is the example of woman behaving like a child, calling any cat a kitty. What else? What else? Right?
Maybe kitty symbolizes a warm, like the woman. Her husband was indifferent to her and she wanted to be loved by him.
Exactly. When we call it someone a kitty, it makes our what? Soft, tender, gentle, right? Okay, very good. So one idea is that she behaves like a child. Secondly, she wanted to show that she wants more care, more love. What else? Kitty. So who usually calls a cat a kitty? Children, right? Don't you think, I'm just trying to draw you to the fact, don't you think that the wife actually wanted to have a child? Why? Why? So as you said, her husband was indifferent. Her heart was full of love. And she wanted to pour that love on somebody else. She wanted to share that love. And she wanted someone to look after, right? Someone to look after. Okay, continue. And the last episode. Okay, can I ask you please to read out?
Anyway, I want a cat. She said, I want a cat. I want a cat now. If I can't have a long hair or any fun, I can have a cat.
Okay, now you have more experience in analyzing, right? So what can you say about this passage?
The word cat repeats.
Yes, it says a cat, a cat, a cat. And as we have already discussed, what does it mean? It means like specific cat, the exact cat, or any cat. Any cat. So what does this passage tell us about the main character?
She wanted to change her life.
Absolutely. Anything, right? Anything new, anyone to love, anyone to care about. But something needs to be changed. Absolutely. A very good observation. Thank you very much. And look at me, please. As you see, so I extracted these paragraphs, these passages, and put it next to each picture. So what can you see about these pictures, actually? So, if we compare, kind of cat or different cat? Why? Okay, Let's open your text, okay? Can you please find the first description of a cat in the Russian version? Russian version. The description of a cat in the Russian version. What does it say about the cat? How is the cat introduced and described? Stefan? What does it say?
In Russian?
Yes, in Russian. In Russian.
Она старалась сжаться в комок, чтобы на нее не попадали капли.
But the description, what does it say about the cat? About its...
Прижала к себе большую пятнистую кошку.
Yes, пятнистая кошка. Right? Okay. So can you find the description of a cat at the end? At the end. What does it say пятнистая? Does it say anything about it?
Yes.
What does it say?
Same.
Read out in Russian.
Она только прижала к себе большую пятнистую кошку.
Okay. And look at this cat at the beginning and the cat at the end. Are they the same cats?
Yes.
No, they are not. Look, they are not the same cats. They...
Don't see.
Oh, you can't see, but those who can see, these are different cats.
Yes.
Okay. And what happened in the story? What happened in the story? At the beginning, when she was looking through the window and she saw the cat under the table, so just actually in the rain, and the cat that she actually got, were they the same cats?
Maybe not.
It's not maybe, so they were not the same cats, right? Okay? And why? Of course, we are going to explain. Thank you very much. As you see, right? So I just missed this part because we're short of time. Okay, right. So in the story we have two main characters, right? Two main characters. What are they? The two Americans, right? So the lady on the right and the gentleman on the left. So what are they called? Can you just find? Я вам уже подсказала. So the first time, открываем текст, пожалуйста, английские тексты. Какие варианты введения, названия персонажа у нас есть? So the first one is the American wife. What other names? What other names do they use? Look through the text. Look through the text. Какие еще есть слова? Okay, the American wife. Next, just the wife, right? What else? The American girl, right? What else? Nothing, right? So what about the gentleman? The husband. What else? Okay, absolutely. Then comes George. Very good. And oops, sorry, that was too quick. That was too quick. Right. So look up at me. As I said, so we have two characters: the American wife, the American girl. Do we know her name? What about him? He is the husband and George. What does this tell us? What does this opposition tell us about the characters?
She's softy.
Pardon?
She's softy. Softy.
She's softy, okay, right? I mean, I'm speaking about their status. Okay, who is of the major importance in this family? The husband. Why? How do we know?
Because
He has a name, absolutely. He has a name, right? And look at these two photos. Of course, so these are not the personalities, they're not the characters from the book. Just I thought, to my perception, they're very familiar to what Hemingway describes, right, in his story. Looking at the American wife, the American girl, what is being emphasized? That she's from the USA, that she's from the USA, and we know that they traveled to Italy, okay? And what did they see in Italy? What did they find in Italy? Why did they go to Italy? Who was the husband in the story? Who was the husband?
He reading book.
So, who was he? What did he do in life? Do we know anything about his background? No. But when she was looking through the window, what was she looking at? So what were people going to? People were going to the monument, right? So if you read very carefully in the story, you see there was a monument. And what was this monument to? And who was this monument to? To the heroes of the First World War, right? Okay. What kind of emotions did Hemingway want to pass to you when he mentioned that memorial, when he mentioned that monument? So at the beginning of the lesson, so we watched the episode, right, about the World War the First. So, okay, and that monument, what kind of feelings did people have when they walked to that monument to put the wreath, to put the flowers? Happiness or sadness? Sadness, of course, right. And the whole atmosphere of the story is quite sad because of the problem. Okay, look up at me. So these are the sayings. I want you to look and read the sayings. Okay, who are these? Okay, who do they belong to? And what do they tell us about the characters? Okay, can I ask you please to read the first one? You can't see. So come closer. Come closer. Please. The first one.
I want to have,
Yes, the first one. The first.
I want to pull my hair backward, tight and smooth, and make a big
Not.
knot at the back that I can feel, she said.
Okay, so thank you. So what do you think, what does it tell us about her? Ребят, вы уже видите, каждое предложение имеет какую фразу? Я выделила специально для вас. I want, I want, I want. Но она хочет абсолютно разные вещи, правильно? Вот первое предложение нам о чем говорит? Pull my hair back tight, yes? And smooth and make a big knot at the back that I can feel, she said. What does she want? She has, yes, she wants long hair. Why does she want long hair?
Because
Because she won't feel her
Okay,
hair.
do you remember the picture, the photo of that lady? She had
now
she had a
she has
cut, short, yes, she had her hair cut. She had short hair, okay? And for example, I have short hair. So mostly all the girls have here long hair. So what's the difference between me and you? Who looks more feminine? Who looks more gentle? Yes, those who have long hair, right? Because you can do what? You can play with your hair, you can plait your hair, you can put a knot, so any bunch, anything, right? So it makes you look how? Beautiful, different. So what did she want? She wanted to look more ladylike, yes, more gentle. And long hair was the symbol of it. Next, I want to have a kitty to sit on my lap and purr when I stroke her. So what did she want actually? She wanted to have some tactile feelings. What is tactile? Tactile, right? So she wanted to stroke someone. What does this tell us about her? Her wishes, her wants. She wanted to give her love, passion to somebody, right? Okay, next one. And I want to eat at a table with my own silver. And I want candles. What does this tell us about?
Maybe they hadn't got
They were struggling.
Yes, they were always on the journey, okay, and
She wanted her own home.
she wanted to get settled, right? She wanted to get settled, to have her own interior, maybe to design her interior, right? To use, as she said, candles when she has dinner, right? And also her own silver. What does silver mean? Yes, but what does it mean? Yes, so actually it means that you have something to pass to your future generations. So again, we have the kind of reading between lines, the image of a child. Yes, she wanted to have a family with a child. And it says, and I want to be spring, and I want to brush my hair out in front of a mirror, and I want a kitty, and I want some new clothes. What are all these I want, I want? You've already mentioned that she wants more changes in her life. Is she heard? Ее слышат? Is she heard? No. At all. Why? Why do you think? Why?
Didn't want to change anything.
Why? her life, or did he lead his own life? Did they talk a lot? Did they exchange any ideas? No. And when we first meet her in the story, so we see her standing with her back to him, right? Looking through the window. You remember? So, and she was talking to him without even looking at him, right? And all her attention was addressed to the kitty, to the cat. Actually, and when she wanted a lot of things, did he hear that? What was his reaction to her long hair? He said that she was fine with short hair, that was okay, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, do you think that the image of this lady is like the image of a cat in the rain?
Yes.
Okay, how did she feel? How does the cat feel in the rain? Comfortable? No. Lonely?
Yes.
Solitary? Neglected?
Yes.
So don't you think that the lady felt the same? What happened at the end? She got a cat. And who brought that cat?
The man.
Who was the man?
Yeah.
The owner of the hotel, right? The hotel keeper. Okay, what does this tell us?
She liked him because he gave her maybe love.
Right.
So
So it, absolutely, he was supportive. And what does this tell us? Her husband, right? Her beloved husband was indifferent. He didn't hear her, he didn't understand her. But a stranger was more caring, was more attentive, right? So she wasn't very demanding, but still he was actually very loving to her. Okay, we see two different approaches. So doesn't it prove that it's important to talk to each other? It's important to tell what you wish, what you want, how you feel, right? So, and as we are very short of time, as I said, right, so as it's a long lesson, it's a 2-hour lesson with more depth in it, and penetrating, analyzing, but at the end of the lesson I will tell you, what do you think? From now on, would you feel more open to your family, to your friends, to your teachers? Is it important? Is it important for you personally? Okay, right, and if we look back, do you remember some cases in your life, some days, some episodes, when you did not talk to people, when you did not tell how you felt, and it did not help to solve the problem?
Yes.
Okay, do you regret about that?
Yes.
No, right, but can you change it in the future?
Yes.
Right, of course you want to be loved, you want to be cared, you want to be understood and heard, right? And the same about the other people. Okay, thank you very much, right? Thank you. As I said, of course, at my lesson I would ask my students to write a book review, right? About the feelings, about the characters, how you feel, so about the plot. So you remember today we discussed the characters, right? We discussed the plot in the system of the croissants. Of course, your opinion, you expressed your opinion. And what do you think? Would you recommend this book to anyone? This short story. Okay? Who would you recommend and why? Would you recommend to your parents?
Yes.
Yes. Why?
Because story is husband and wife.
Yes, about family relationship.
All of us.
Absolutely. Very good. Yes, comment. It's all about all of us, right? It's important to make sure that you feel how other people feel. So actually, we spoke about what? About emotional intelligence, right? That was a lesson about emotional intelligence. And at the end, as I always say, right, I love quotations. And one says, okay, when people talk, listen completely. Okay, most people never listen. So is it important to listen to each other?
Yes.
Yes, and it also says, write hard and clear about what hurts. Never keep it to yourself. Speak openly. right? Share what you have. And of course, it will definitely make it easy. And the last one, people were always the limiters of happiness, except for the very few that were as good as spring itself. So never ever think about the bad moments. Think positively. Think ahead, right? Life is really worth living it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I know you didn't talk much. I was mostly doing the talking, but it's okay. Thank you for your audience. Thank you for your beautiful eyes. Thank you for your clever eyes. And I wish you only the best. Thank you.
Thank you.